Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the potential romantic developments between Jack Brennan and Carly Spencer following her recent health crisis. The relationship between these two beloved characters stands at a critical crossroads that could forever alter their future together. Carly Spencer may soon receive some alarming news that could drastically impact her life and relationships. General Hospital spoilers indicate that unexpected curveballs are headed her way, potentially creating even more complications in her already tumultuous life. What Carly doesn't yet realize is that her daughter Jocelyn Jax has already been navigating dangerous waters due to her connection with Brennan, who not only involved Joss in the deadly Cyrus Renault situation but also recruited her for the WSB. This hidden entanglement could become a significant point of contention when the truth finally emerges. The safety of her children will inevitably become a primary concern for Carly as she processes recent events. As a mother, the realization that Brennan's dangerous lifestyle might put her family at risk could force her to reconsider their relationship from an entirely different perspective. The poisoning incident has already demonstrated how proximity to Brennan can lead to life-threatening situations, and the thought of such danger extending to her children might prove too much for Carly to accept. This maternal instinct could create an internal conflict between her heart's desires and her protective nature as a parent. Despite any attempts Brennan might make to end their relationship, Carly's resilient personality suggests she won't easily accept such a decision. Known for her determination and strength, Carly has never been one to back down from challenges or let fear dictate her choices. If Brennan tries to push her away, she might instead fight harder for their relationship, potentially creating a situation where her persistence ultimately strengthens their bond rather than weakens it. This tenacity is characteristic of Carly's approach to relationships throughout her tumultuous history in Port Charles. The poisoning incident that landed Carly in the hospital has created a pivotal moment for Jack Brennan's perspective on their relationship. Witnessing Carly's brush with death due to Valentine Cassidy's tampering with the champagne bottle has profoundly affected Brennan. The guilt weighing on him, knowing that Carly was targeted because of her association with him, could drive him to make a difficult decision about their future. The thought of putting her in similar danger again might be something he simply cannot bear, leading him to consider ending their relationship despite his feelings for her. After Carly recovers and leaves the hospital, Brennan may come to the heartbreaking conclusion that the safest option for her is distance from him. In what could be a dramatic turning point in their storyline, he might utter those 5 significant words, "I'm too dangerous for you." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates his fear that the chaos surrounding his life will continue to put Carly at risk, and his love for her might manifest in the painful choice to push her away for her own protection. The relationship between Brennan and Carly had only recently overcome initial hesitations. Fans will recall that Carly initially harbored reservations about getting involved with Brennan, perhaps sensing the complications that might arise. However, in a moment of clarity, she decided she was overthinking the situation and chose to follow her heart. This decision led her to take the risk of becoming intimate with Brennan, unaware that this choice would inadvertently put her life in jeopardy due to external forces targeting him. The poisoning incident represents a dramatic escalation in their relationship storyline. What began as a romantic development quickly transformed into a life-or-death situation, highlighting the genuine dangers associated with Brennan's world. This traumatic event serves as a stark reminder of the high stakes involved in their relationship and sets the stage for the difficult conversations and decisions that must follow Carly's recovery. How they navigate this crisis will ultimately define whether their relationship can survive or if the risks will prove too great to overcome. The coming weeks will likely reveal whether Brennan and Carly can find a way forward together despite these obstacles. Will Carly's strength and determination be enough to convince Brennan that their love is worth the risk? Or will Brennan's concern for her safety ultimately drive them apart? And how will the revelation about Jocelyn's involvement with the WSB impact Carly's perspective on Brennan? These questions hang in the balance as General Hospital continues to unfold this compelling storyline of love, danger, and difficult choices. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates and in-depth analysis as this emotional journey continues to develop on General Hospital. The path forward for Brennan and Carly remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: whatever decision they make will have far-reaching consequences for both their lives and the lives of those they love. Next, we will learn about the explosive situation unfolding in Port Charles that has viewers on the edge of their seats. The drama is intensifying as several storylines converge in what promises to be one of the most riveting weeks in General Hospital history. Sonny's heart condition and the mysterious intruder. Sonny Corinthos, the powerful mob boss of Port Charles, finds himself in a precarious position as he battles a secret heart condition while simultaneously dealing with threats to his family. Despite doctors' orders to take it easy, Sonny's protective instincts have kicked into overdrive following the bombing that nearly claimed his son Michael's life. The tension reaches a breaking point when a masked intruder breaks into Sonny's new residence. In a heart-stopping moment, Sonny confronts the trespasser at gunpoint, demanding answers while Jason Morgan likely stands nearby as backup. The identity of this mysterious figure remains concealed. Neither man nor woman can be definitively identified through their disguise. What makes this confrontation particularly dangerous is Sonny's deteriorating health. The stress of recent events has exacerbated his cardiac issues, and this standoff could potentially trigger a life-threatening episode. Nevertheless, Sonny remains resolute, unwilling to show weakness or let anyone discover his vulnerability. Potential suspects and motivations. The question on everyone's mind: who would dare infiltrate Sonny's heavily guarded sanctuary? Several possibilities have emerged from our analysis of the situation. Valentine-Cassadine connection. Could this break-in be connected to Valentine's mysterious operations? Perhaps the intruder seeks something linking these two powerful men together. Holly Sutton's return. The possibility that Holly might be behind this daring intrusion cannot be dismissed. Her skills and motivations would make her a formidable adversary. The bomber's return. Most alarming is the theory that whoever orchestrated the explosion that injured Michael has returned to finish what they started. This would explain Sonny's heightened state of alert and determination to protect his family at all costs. With Cyrus Renault confirmed to be out of the picture, speculation has turned to Jen Sidwell as a potential mastermind behind both the bombing and this latest intrusion. Family dynamics and medical emergencies. Meanwhile, other Port Charles residents face their own crises. Harrison Chase is about to receive life-altering news, discovering that his best friend fathered the baby his wife gave up during her teenage years. This revelation threatens to upend multiple relationships and create ripple effects throughout the community. Adding to the town's turmoil, Carly Spencer experiences a sudden medical emergency that requires immediate attention. The timing couldn't be worse as resources and attention are already stretched thin across multiple fronts. Sonny's impossible choice. As Sonny prepares for his upcoming heart surgery, he finds himself torn between two urgent priorities: protecting his family and addressing his health crisis. His determination to identify and neutralize threats before his procedure demonstrates his unwavering commitment to his loved ones, even at the expense of his own well-being. The intruder appears to have been searching for something specific, clutching an unidentified object before being interrupted by Sonny's arrival. This suggests a targeted operation rather than a random break-in, raising the stakes of this confrontation significantly. Port Charles under siege. The atmosphere in Port Charles has grown increasingly tense as residents sense the brewing storm. With multiple threats converging simultaneously, the community faces unprecedented danger from both known and unknown adversaries. Sonny's investigation into the bombing that injured Michael has become his obsession, driving him to push his physical limits despite the warnings from his medical team. His refusal to rest until justice is served exemplifies the protective nature that has defined his character throughout years of conflict. The week ahead. As these storylines accelerate toward their climactic conclusions, viewers can expect shocking revelations, unexpected alliances, and potentially devastating consequences for beloved characters. The masked intruder's identity, when finally revealed, promises to reshape the power dynamics of Port Charles for months to come. Will Sonny survive this confrontation and make it to his life-saving surgery? Can he protect his family while battling his own mortality? The answers to these questions will unfold in what promises to be an unforgettable week of drama, betrayal, and possibly redemption. Next, we will learn about the shocking poisoning incident that has left Carly Spencer fighting for her life after what should have been a romantic evening turned into a nightmare. This developing storyline has fans across the country holding their breath as one of Port Charles's most beloved residents faces an uncertain future. The waiting game, Carly's fate hangs in the balance. In the sterile corridors of General Hospital, doctors work frantically to save Carly Spencer's life as her pulse continues to weaken with each passing hour. The diagnosis has sent shockwaves through Port Charles: polonium poisoning, one of the most lethal substances known to medical science. This radioactive element, infamous for its use in high-profile assassinations, leaves little room for optimistic prognosis. The medical team, led by the brilliant Dr. Britt Westbourne, has initiated emergency protocols reserved for extreme toxicity cases. Specialized equipment has been rushed in from neighboring hospitals as they attempt to flush the deadly substance from Carly's system before irreversible organ damage occurs. The hospital has been placed under heightened security measures, with restricted access to Carly's floor, standard procedure when dealing with radioactive contamination, but also necessary given the circumstances suggest attempted murder. As family members gather in the waiting room, the atmosphere is thick with tension and unspoken accusations. Jocelyn Jacks, Carly's daughter, maintains a stoic vigil by her mother's bedside, while Jason Morgan has stationed himself outside the hospital room, his expression unreadable but his purpose clear: whoever did this will not get a second chance to finish the job. The question on everyone's mind remains unanswered: will Carly survive this ordeal? The coming days will be critical, with each hour that passes potentially bringing either hope or heartbreak to those who care for her. Laura Wright's insights, understanding Carly's mindset. In a revealing interview with Soaps magazine that now seems eerily prescient, Laura Wright, the talented actress who has embodied Carly for years, offered fascinating insights into her character's psychology that may have foreshadowed this dangerous turn of events. "You know, just having a glass of champagne with this man is deadly. So, what are you doing, Carly?" Wright remarked, in what now seems like a chilling premonition of the poisoning plot. The actress delved deep into Carly's complex motivations, explaining how her character's rebellious nature often leads her to reject sound advice. Wright elaborated on Carly's stubborn independence. "It's just very interesting that her reaction, in true Carly fashion, is to then dig her heels in and say, 'I don't want anyone telling me what to do, I'll figure it out for myself.'" This self-reliance, while admirable in many contexts, has repeatedly placed Carly in perilous situations throughout her tumultuous life in Port Charles. Perhaps most telling was Wright's analysis of Carly's blind trust in certain men. Without even taking a beat, she's like, "No, I know for a fact that Jack would never let anything happen to me." This misplaced confidence, Wright suggests, stems from Carly's complicated history with Sonny Corinthos, whose dangerous lifestyle she normalized despite numerous close calls. "He shot her in the head when she was giving birth to Morgan," Wright reminded fans, highlighting the extreme situations Carly has survived in the past. She's like, "Back off, everybody. I got this. I can make my own choices. You know, you're telling me to stay away from Brennan, but if I got back together with Sonny, no one would care." It doesn't make sense to her. Wright's character analysis also touched on Carly's somewhat sheltered worldview. "As far as being worldly and well-traveled, I don't see that being Carly. She's very local to her life in Florida and then Port Charles." This provincial perspective, Wright suggests, makes Carly particularly vulnerable to the exotic allure of someone like Jack Brennan, whose international lifestyle represents everything her routine existence lacks. The life that Jack has lived and that he continues to live is one that Carly doesn't know, and she finds it very exciting, Wright explained. inadvertently highlighting the dangerous naivety that may have led Carly directly into this life-threatening situation. Notably, Wright carefully avoided confirming whether Carly would survive this latest crisis, maintaining the suspense that has General Hospital viewers on the edge of their seats. The thrill-seeker's downfall, Carly's pattern of dangerous choices. Carly's current predicament represents the culmination of a pattern that has defined her character for decades. Her attraction to danger, whether in the form of mob bosses, international operatives, or forbidden relationships, has consistently placed her in harm's way, though never with consequences quite as dire as polonium poisoning. Psychological experts might classify Carly as a sensation seeker, someone who requires higher levels of stimulation and novelty than the average person. This personality trait, while making for an exciting life, comes with inherent risks that Carly has repeatedly dismissed or underestimated. Her history in Port Charles is littered with examples of this behavior, marrying into the Corinthos crime family, engaging in numerous dangerous schemes, and consistently choosing the path of highest resistance rather than safety. Each time she has emerged relatively unscathed, perhaps reinforcing her belief in her own invulnerability. This latest entanglement with Jack Brennan follows the same pattern but with potentially fatal consequences. The international businessman's mysterious background and cosmopolitan flair represented exactly the kind of excitement Carly craves, blinding her to the red flags that others, particularly Jason, identified immediately. The irony is painful. In seeking the thrill of danger without its consequences, Carly may have finally encountered a threat beyond even her remarkable ability to survive. The fateful evening, champagne, poison, and betrayal. What began as a romantic evening in Jack Brennan's hotel suite quickly descended into a nightmare scenario that has left Port Charles reeling. The elegant setting, with its panoramic views of the harbor and carefully selected champagne, created the perfect backdrop for what appeared to be a blossoming romance between two consenting adults. Carly and Jack's chemistry had been building for weeks, their flirtatious encounters gradually intensifying until this private rendezvous became inevitable. The champagne, a vintage Dom Perignon that Jack claimed to have specially imported, was meant to be the crowning touch on a perfect evening. As surveillance footage would later reveal, Valentin Cassadine had been monitoring the hotel corridor, his presence initially going unnoticed by the couple inside. His involvement in what transpired remains one of the central mysteries of this unfolding drama. Inside the suite, Jack poured 2 flutes of the sparkling wine, presenting one to Carly with a toast to new beginnings. Unaware of the danger, Carly took an appreciative sip, commenting on its exceptional quality and encouraging Jack to try it himself. It was at this moment that Jack's expression changed, his trained senses detecting something amiss with the champagne. With lightning reflexes honed through years of covert operations, Jack knocked the glass from Carly's hand, sending crystal and champagne scattering across the plush carpet. His urgent warning came too late. Carly had already consumed enough of the tainted beverage for the poison to enter her system. Within minutes, the symptoms began to manifest. Carly complained of dizziness, her speech becoming slurred as she attempted to stand. By the time they reached the hotel corridor, she collapsed entirely, her body unable to fight the powerful toxin coursing through her veins. As Jack frantically called for emergency services, security cameras captured Valentin slipping away from the scene, a satisfied smirk playing across his features, damning evidence of his potential involvement in what now appears to be a calculated assassination attempt. The question remains, was Carly the intended target, or was she simply collateral damage in a plot aimed at Jack Brennan? The answer may determine not only the investigation's direction but possibly Carly's chances of survival as well. Warning signs ignored, Jason's concerns and Carly's defiance. Before this catastrophic evening, Carly had received explicit warnings about Jack Brennan from someone whose judgment she has historically trusted above all others, Jason Morgan. Drawing on his extensive connections in the underworld and his finely tuned instincts for danger, Jason had attempted to steer Carly away from what he perceived as a potentially lethal association. Their confrontation, which occurred at Kelly's diner just days before the poisoning, was witnessed by several patrons who later described it as unusually heated for the normally reserved Jason. According to these accounts, Jason presented Carly with concrete evidence of Brennan's ties to international arms dealers and questionable government operations in countries known for human rights violations. "Stay away from him," Jason had urged, his voice low but intense. "He brings danger wherever he goes. This isn't like Sonny, these people play by different rules." Carly's response was characteristic of her rebellious nature. Rather than heeding Jason's warning, she interpreted it as an attempt to control her life choices, perhaps even as jealousy from someone who had always played a protective role in her life.